call it bias, I call it illegal. Spin the wheel, then break the seal. Ace support, we won't conceal. Feel the truth, you know the deal. They can't silence what we say. We're the voice of the USA. Stand your ground, make them pay. Ace support leads the way. Clouds of lies hanging low. Ace supports truth, let it flow. Shouting loud, every show. Truth in the news they can't control. Fearless warriors in the fray. Flame of freedom, bright as day. Cut through noise, clear the gray. Ace support, we're here to stay. They can't silence what we say. We're the voice of the USA. Stand your ground, make them pay. Ace support leads the way. Clouds of lies hanging low. Ace reports truth, let it blow. Shouting loud, every show. Truth in the news they can't control. They can't silence what we say. We're the voice of the USA. Stand your ground, make them pay. Ace report leads the way. Leads the way, leads the way. Leads the way. Clouds of lies hanging low. Ace the way. Leads the way. And here we go.
Sure.
And now I see they want you two to start, they want a divorce. They want you two to start hating each other. And they try, President Elon Musk, for example. You do know that they're doing that to you.
Oh, I see it all the time. They tried it, then they stopped. That wasn't. They have many different things of hatred. Actually, Elon called me. He said, they're trying to drive us apart. I said, absolutely. No, they said, we have breaking news. Donald Trump has ceded control of the presidency to Elon Musk. President Musk will be attending a cabinet meeting tonight at 8 o'clock. And I say, It's just so obvious. They're so bad at it. I used to think they were good at it. They're actually bad at it, because if they were good at it, I'd never be president. Because I think nobody in history has ever gotten more bad publicity than me. I could do the greatest things. I get 98% bad publicity. I could do, outside of you and a few of your very good friends, it's like the craziest thing. But you know what I have learned, Elon? The people are smart. They get it.
Yeah, they do, actually.
They get it. They really see what's happening.
Yes.
And at the end of this interview, what I would like is I want people to know the relationship and know more about you.
Woo! What's up, guys? How we doing tonight? Welcome in the hizzy. Did you guys see that interview? It's unbelievable. We're going to cover it tonight. I got all the highlights. We're going through it. I did the work, so you don't have to, in case you missed it. We're going to go through all of it, but I got to tell you, I am as optimistic and as excited for our country, for all the stuff coming for us that I have ever been. These men, they love our country. They love our country. They honestly, they love each other. We got two of the smartest men. And you know what? I had this thought today. We don't see, at least in our modern era, we've had very few in the last, in my last 20 years of life, I can think of very few great men of history that we've seen. I love reading about great men of history and women of history, of course, but I love it. I love reading about the great leaders, about the reformers, the people who changed the world, changed nations, led nations. And we're watching it right now. We have been blessed to have two great men of history step in against cost to themselves. I hate the stupid argument that these men are just enriching themselves. Trump lost $2 billion the first time he was president. He lost half of his fortune. He was worth $4 billion, came out being worth $2 billion. Elon's the richest man in the world, has nothing financially to gain from this, unless we start seeing all kinds of contracts. But that happened under Biden. He got his money under Biden. Just remember that. And from the EV credits that started under Obama, that's where so he has nothing to gain, but he's got everything to lose with his reputation and all that. And these men are willing to put themselves on the line, put their families on the line, be in the spotlight, give up their cush lives. Trump's been shot at. Okay. I mean, one of the most beloved men in American history and entertainment, and now is fully put himself out there. And we're watching two great men of history willing to do everything they can to change our nation. And that's what we needed. You know, in the founding fathers, they gave up their land, liberty, lives. They pledged all that, their wealth. They pledged it all to start a great nation. And we're seeing, in my opinion, we're seeing two men and a team behind them doing the same thing now. Like they're just putting themselves out there. And when you watch this interview, there's something special in their relationship. It really is. There's a bond here. There's a trust, and there is a drive. I don't know if I've ever seen it in my lifetime especially not in our country. So it's incredible. And we're going to go through this interview because I really want you guys to see what they're saying. And I also bring receipts. They're not afraid to call like it is. They are going to reform our country in the next 4 years. This is unbelievable. We've had 1 month. It's already been one of the best political months of my life. Actually, this 1 month has been better than political years of my life. And we're just getting started. So I'm going to go through this, show you guys the clips. But first, let me say hey to everybody. We got some beautiful people up in this place. Kasink, numero uno tonight. Alan Agajanian, what's up, Big B? Shogun, Alan Krantz. Alan, you've given enough, brother. Thank you for the 5 and the like. Danny Gigal Dubois is in the house. Vinman Automags, the one. Scott Volkovich. Troy Man, Pat Shagoya, Kim Wiley. Cindy Lou, Steve Bernard, Linda Telly, Hero at Large, Chad Youngkin, Gerald Kramer, Diamond G, So Now What, Backcracker, Dave R, Gary Dush, Michael Tucker. You out on the first 100 Cool Jays. By the way, if you missed it, go back and watch last night's video. We had a lot of fun ranking the presidents. If you missed that, I think you missed a really fun show. I had a lot of fun doing it. Grok 3 says Texas Lone Star. We'll talk about Grok 3 later. It's awesome. Randy Atwell, ESK, Rum Dog, the G-Bucks. I'll talk about that at the end of the show, okay? But G-Bucks, whoo. Armand Oliphant. Hero says, I love Trump and Elon as much as any straight man can. I do too. I totally have a straight guy crush on him. It's okay. I gave my whole answer on that last night, brother. Mark R. Vince Felice. Love the interview, he says, and not a fan handy. I hear you. Joe Scarpazza. Man, what's up? Oh, I know. That stuff's crazy. Yeah, we'll talk about that another time, too. There's so much going on. I don't even know if I can get to it all. I'm going to try. Rum Dog says, Handy asks his guests 10-minute questions for 5-second response. Don't worry. I'm not going to play where Hannity talks and talks. I'm going to let the men talk. Hannity loves to hear himself. That is the truth. That's absolutely the truth. Twilight, what's going on? Husker Power. Oh, man. I think we got good stuff going. How high? No way to know. No way to know. Alan Kretz says they're not changing. They're restoring America. Well, I like that. I have a little disagreement with you, though. I don't think they're just restoring America. I will agree with you. They're restoring the vision of America, but they're also taking America to levels it's never been before. I believe that with my whole heart. So let's get moving because there's a lot to cover tonight and it's already late. So friends, we're just going to get right into it. Here is just listen. This is such good stuff. And I apologize for the little marks there. I was getting clips and this one came out with a, you can see it. Just ignore it. Just ignore these little 10s. But this is a great long diatribe and breakdown of what's going on in our government right now, what they're finding in DOGE.
I want people at home to understand this part. Average American makes $66,000 a year.
Yeah.
Okay? We have $37 trillion in national debt.
Yes.
Now, all the money I'm about to mention and what we're going to scroll on our screen, and all of this is going to foreign countries. It is not being spent here in America for better schools, law and order.
I think the average tax-paying American should be mad as hell because their tax money is being poorly spent.
All right, let me go to the second question first. I want to know, because people like Joni Ernst and House.
Real quick, did you guys see that? That's Elon, man, had some real rage in him right there when he said the taxpayers should be mad as hell. And I love that. I want to see that. I want to see a man angry about it, about what's happening, because that's what it deserves, is anger. And Elon, you know, he's on the spectrum, you know, so listen, my son is autistic. He's on the spectrum. He's about where Elon's at. It's like not heavily autistic, but definitely there. And if they're angry, they're angry. They can't hide their emotions. Okay. And so if Elon is pissed, and I love that. And that's the energy I want carried into what they're doing.
Senator Ernst has tried for a long time, and she's actually got a lot of good data. Senator Ernst has been really helpful, actually.
Okay, but they actually hide what the real purpose of the spending is.
Sure.
In other words, this is a question. How did you decipher? It will say humanitarian blah, blah, blah in Serbia or Afghanistan. We even give money to China, for crying out loud, which I think is nuts.
We'll give money to the Taliban.
But money to the Taliban.
Like a lot.
All right, so
I'm like, for what?
But
I love Elon. He can't help himself. It's like as Hannity is going on, he just has to interject. We're freaking giving money to the Taliban. I mean, I don't know if you guys have seen the list, which they're going to talk about here in a minute, of all the things going on. But that should just make you as angry as anything. We were funding the Taliban, I believe, $40 million a month. $40 million a month. That's the same group that we declared we had to go to war with back all the way in 2001. And now we're just keeping them alive. It's the most crazy stuff. So Biden's funding the Taliban. Obama basically started ISIS. This is the craziest stuff. We survived the most insane crooks and people who hate America between the Obama administration and the Biden administration, that it's so much worse than any of us could dare to dream. No, I won't say dare to dream, but most Americans out there dare to dream. Some of us knew, but we didn't know the details. And what we're finding out is the details, and the details are even worse than a lot of us thought possible.
I want to see the pictures of what they did.
But they try to obscure it. But then you got to the bottom line, which is what I'm now scrolling on the screen.
Yes.
And that is $20 million on a Sesame Street show in Iraq, $56 million to boost tourism in Tunisia and Egypt, $40 million to build schools in Jordan, $11 million to tell the Vietnamese to stop burning trash, $45 million for DEI scholarships in Burma, $520 million for consultant-driven ESG investments in Africa, DEI programs in Serbia. The president's favorite. I'm sure you love that taxpayer money was spent on a DEI musical in Ireland, or a transgender opera in Colombia, or a transgender comic book.
It sounds like how can these things be real? But this is actually what was done. It sounds like a comedy sketch. Or
I have 20 pages of this.
You guys see this one right here? $3.3 million for a program called Being LGBT in the Caribbean. We're the lesbians of the Caribbean. That wouldn't make that great of a show. I'm sorry, I had to stop for that. It was just so crazy.
Right. It's a list a mile long.
If you had to put a number on it, how much do you think you've identified waste, fraud, abuse, corruption at this point? And again, we're going to be scrolling this throughout the program.
Well, the overall goal is to try to get $1 trillion out of the deficit. And if the deficit is not brought under control, America will go bankrupt.
Okay, real quick. He just said the overall goal is to find 1 trillion in savings. Now, let me tell you that they've done officially, the DOGE tracker says 107 billion in the first month. The official number that they say is definite savings that they're putting their money on is officially 55 billion as of right now. 55 billion, and they've barely started. They haven't gotten into the Department of Defense yet. Some of the worst stuff is still coming. We've talked about the numbers on the Social Security. If where he's at with the 1 trillion, I'm telling you guys, in business, you under promise and you over deliver. I have a feeling that we're actually going to find more. I really do. I just have this gut feeling. We're going to see, but I'm telling you what they've already done. This is with judges slowing them down. This is without the time to have the cabinet secretaries haven't been in place yet. This is with like barely anything running yet. And yet they've already found 55 to 100 billion in savings in 4 weeks. I mean, I don't think $1 trillion is going to be tough.
This is a very important thing for people to understand. A country is no different from an individual in that if an individual overspends, an individual can go bankrupt, and so can a country. And the massive waste, fraud, and abuse that has been going on, which is leading to a $2 trillion a year deficit. That's what the president was handed on Jan 20th, a $2 trillion deficit. It's insane.
I see the comment. Thank God Elon's not afraid to cut off Hannity. Amen to that. Hannity, again, he loves his voice. But there, I mean, that's the first breakdown. This is just how it starts. Okay. We immediately we're into it, but I want you guys to think like this has been just, this whole DOGE thing. Most of the people who know what's going on in DOGE are on Twitter or X. I always forget to call it X. That's what most of the people who are actually following this know right now, because the mainstream media is covering it like they're hiding as much as possible. Fox News is doing an okay job covering it, but the rest of the media is just covering it up. They're only complaining about what DOGE is doing, pushing the Democratic talking points. So the vast majority of Americans still haven't seen all this fraud. They've only been hearing out Elon's the shadow president and all this nonsense. And now we get this massive Fox News interview. And again, I cannot emphasize enough how bold Trump and Elon are to actually be talking about this stuff in public. This is stuff that our government, and now right now we've gotten so used to Trump that it may not feel like a big deal. But if you guys think about it, our government has hid stuff from us like this for decades. Even Ronald Reagan, God bless him, I love the man. Even he wouldn't come out and bring the receipts like just happened. And now millions more Americans. There's already 65 to 70% of people who are in favor of what's going on. How much more do you think those numbers just went up? This is going to be unbelievable. Michael Tucker asked, did USAID help fund the Bay of Pigs back when it started under JFK? I highly doubt it. I think back then USAID had just started and it probably actually was just doing good stuff knowing JFK, because he's the one who started, and then the Bay of Pigs happened immediately. It might have not even been in place when Bay of Pigs happened, because Bay of Pigs happened fast. So yeah, I don't know about that one, guys. We're at 63 likes. Please like and subscribe. I didn't ask for it yet, but we got a lot more to go here. Tom Teague says Elon and Trump are master masons, technocrats who take over the world with okay, Tom, God bless you, but you couldn't be more wrong. Hero says Elon, Big Balls, and the rest of DOGE need to dig into Epstein and Diddy client lists. They find release. Oh, it's coming. That'll be the Justice Department that does that, though. That'll be the Justice Department that does that. All right, guys, I got so much more to go, so let's keep run. Yeah, I believe it was funded by the CIA. I just don't think it was USAID. It wasn't around long enough at that time. Okay, let's keep moving, because I want to cover as much of this interview as I can, because it's a really strong interview.
fly and rip, or number one, and
Well, I guess we must be over the target or doing something right. You know, if like they wouldn't be complaining so much if we weren't doing something useful, I think. But what all we're really trying to do here is restore the will of the people through the president. And what we're finding is that there's an unelected bureaucracy. Speaking of unelected, there's a vast federal bureaucracy that is implacably opposed to the president and the cabinet. And you look at, say, DC voting, it's 92% Kamala. Okay.
Real quick, Elon talking about this bureaucracy installed. Now, I got to tell you guys, this is red pilling some folks right now. A lot of Fox News viewers, like my grandpa, who's, God bless him, he's 92 years old, he's retired Air Force, he is Republican as it gets, but he is old school Republican. So he doesn't like all the shakeups. He thinks America's in a much better place than it was. He hated Biden, but he has no idea how bad it is. He likes a lot of the status quo. And that is a lot of Fox News viewers. They are older. They are just that. Well, that's how they think. Okay. And so Elon saying that right now and just dropping that bomb about the bureaucracy, how it runs the government and how they're undermining the president, that's going to red pill some people right now. Fox News did not air this kind of stuff the first Trump presidency, the first Trump administration. They didn't. In fact, a lot of Fox News was old school Republican undercutting Trump in that first administration. They just weren't. Now, this just shows again how much the country has been magnified and red pilled in the last 4 years. This is a new era that Elon can just be out there blasting this stuff off.
Okay, so we're in 92% Kamala. That's a lot.
they don't like me here either.
I think about that number a lot. I'm
Yeah.
like 92%. That's basically almost everyone.
Yeah.
And so, but how can you, if the will of the president is not implemented, and the president is representative of the people, that means the will of the people is not being implemented, and that means we don't live in a democracy. We live in a bureaucracy. And so, I think what we're seeing here is the thrashing of the bureaucracy as we try to restore democracy and the will of the people.
Okay, that's a really big statement. Really big statement right there. We're bringing back the democracy. Now remember what everybody said. Trump is killing democracy. In order to save democracy, you have to vote against Trump. And now Elon again bringing the receipts. We're not a democracy. We're a bureaucracy. And I mean, technically, I know like all the constitutionalists are going to come out now and say, no, we're a republic. You're right. We're a republic. We're a democratic republic. You know what I mean? Okay. It's the branding. It's the branding is important. Okay. And so he's out there just saying, guys, Trump is actually bringing us back. He's giving the power back to the people. Now, this is a man who voted for Biden. This is a man who was center left at best. At best, he loved Bernie. Okay. And in 4 years, and everybody knew that. Everybody knew that. The old school Republicans all knew that. Okay. They might not trust Elon. They had trouble, like they worried about Elon. And now what they do, they see Elon Musk, who voted for Biden, who voted to save democracy the first time with COVID, in the COVID year, the first time they ran the narrative, is now telling the world that Trump is saving democracy. I cannot stress, you guys, we've gotten so used to this. We cannot stop and forget how big this stuff is the first time you're hearing it. Millions of people are going to hear this for the first time. Millions of people are going to wake up because of this interview. It's amazing. It really is. And this is I'm telling you, there's going to be repercussions, good ones, from this interview going forward that are really going to change perceptions. And here's the other thing, as you watch more, it's impossible not to like these guys. It really is. It's impossible not to like them. All right, let me jump to the next part. If it lets me. Are you going to let me jump over there? Oh, there we go. Okay. I was getting a little stuck. I don't want to get stuck. Sometimes the Rumble studio gets stuck. Here we go.
And when he talks about the executive orders, and this is probably true for all presidents, you write an executive order and you think it's done. You send it out. It doesn't get done. It doesn't get implemented. They don't implement it. Maybe they're from the last administration, and they are in some cases. You try and get them out as fast as you can. But as soon as he said that, I said, that's interesting. You write a beautiful executive and you sign it and you assume it's going to be done, but it's not. What he does is he takes it, and with his 100 geniuses, he's got some very brilliant young people working for him that dress much worse than him, actually.
Yeah,
they dress in just T-shirts. You wouldn't know they have 180 IQ.
Wait a minute. So he's your tech support.
No, he is.
I actually
but he's
am
much
tech
more
support.
than that.
I actually am tech support, though. But
he gets it done. He's a leader.
Yeah.
He really is. He gets it done. You get a lot of
Okay, this is important real quick. Not everybody would notice what Trump just did there, but it's important. You guys, this narrative lately, in fact, even the Time magazine cover showed Elon at the Oval Office desk. Elon's the shadow president, right? Trump just brilliantly destroyed that entire narrative. And he did it without even giving it attention. He just says, I sign the executive orders and I hand it to Elon, and Elon runs with it. And then he builds Elon up like he's a great leader. But what Trump just did in front of everybody was completely asserted dominance. And with Elon right there admitting it, and in front of everybody, in front of the world, Trump just basically was like, I'm president. I'm president business. He makes fun, he mocks him for how he dresses, says the guy's work, but he also is just building up the team. Like, this is a team of geniuses. You have no idea. We got the best people. And he's sitting right next to the most genius guy of all. The guy who runs 3 multi-billion-dollar businesses, the richest man in the world. He's going to go down as one of the greatest businessmen and inventors of American history, which is saying a lot. And he just basically said, Elon's my guy. I'm not his. That's again, this stuff is very subtle, but it's also why Trump is one of the greatest persuasionists and marketers in world history. He naturally always knows how to change a narrative. And this is a big one, because this is one of the only narratives Democrats had that was starting to catch on with their base. And it just went bye-bye.
tech people, and you have people that are good with tech, but he gets it done. I said in real estate, you had guys that would draw beautiful renderings of a building, and they'd draw the rendering, it would be great, and you say, great, when are you starting? But they were never able to get it built. They couldn't get the financing, they couldn't get the approvals, it would never get done. And then you have other guys that are able to get it done. They could just get it done. I was in real estate, same thing in this. He gets it done. So when he said that, he said, when you sign these executive orders, a lot of them don't get done, and maybe the most important ones. And he would take that executive order that I'd sign, and he would have those people go to whatever agency it was. When are you doing it? Get it done, get it done. And some guy that maybe didn't want to do it, all of a sudden he's signing. He just doesn't want to be bothered.
All right, again puts himself in the place of dominance, but something else there. I showed you guys the Frank Luntz clip last night, where he had all these Democrats who were basically saying, like, even they approve of what's going on. Why? Because they were so tired of Trump. Of Biden and their side not being able to get stuff done, and they're just excited to see a president who actually is getting stuff done. And so what does Trump do? He hammers it home. We get stuff done. We just do. A lot of people can't do it, but we get stuff done. Elon's getting stuff done. And so again, that's seeding the positive narrative that keeps it going. So listen, I'm in marketing. And so I see this stuff. I see what Trump does in a way that not everybody sees it. A lot of people just watch these and are like, that was really good, and they go on with their day. But I'm telling you, I see this, and I'm seeing how Trump is just such a master. He's such a master of giving everything people need to hear. And it makes the Democrats right now just angrier and angrier and angrier. And I guarantee you they watched this tonight and they said, back to the drawing board. We don't even know what to do with this. and they're going to come up with some new narrative. Mark my words. In the next day or two, there's going to be a new narrative. It's no longer going to be they're going after privacy. It's no longer going to be Elon is our president. There's going to be a new narrative they're going to move forward because Trump just destroyed the ones they're working with, and we're not even done. So we got more as I bring this up right here. By the way, please like, share, subscribe if you're enjoying the channel. I appreciate it. You can join for members lives and Discord for $3 a month if you'd like. And if you're wondering, why is it not working in the chat? My chat is for subscribers only. So if you subscribe, then you can jump right in the chat. All right. I appreciate it. Okay. Let's keep moving.
And he just doesn't want to be bothered.
Do a lot of those executive orders have to be codified into law? You need the Republican Congress
and
to
they
follow
will be.
up.
A lot of them will be. Yeah.
They will.
But look, in the meantime, we have 4 years. The beauty is we have 4 years. That's why I like doing it right at the beginning.
Do you hear that? So a lot of people are like, oh, we only got executive orders. They can be overturned by the next president. They're not law. They're just law of the land, whether we have a president. Trump knows something. He knows something that Thune and Johnson are going to be working to codify a lot of these into law. I guarantee you he knows it. You can see the confidence. But then he also says, we got 4 years. People forget that. And that's striking terror into Democrats as a reminder. We've done all this in 4 weeks. We got a lot of time left, folks. And it's only going to get better.
Beginning, because an executive order is great. I mean, the one problem is both good and bad. Because when they did all these executive orders, I've canceled most of them. They were terrible. I mean, we're going to go radical left communist. Okay, it was crazy. Their executive orders were so bad. If they ever got them codified, you'd never be able to break them. So the damage that Biden has done to this country, and it's not even Biden, it's the people that circled him in the Oval Office, okay? But the damage they did to this country, in terms of, let's say, open borders, you know, there's so many things, but open borders, where millions of people poured into our country, and hundreds of thousands of those people are criminals. They're murderers, they're drug dealers, they're gang members, they're people from prisons from all over the world. And we have a great guy, Tom Homan, and he is doing so incredibly. You saw the numbers, they're now like 96%.
95%.
He is a phenomenal guy. And Kristi Noem is doing an unbelievable job. And he wanted her, he said, she's so tough. And I said, I don't think of her as that way. You know, she's very nice. He said, no, she's so tough.
You guys hear that? That's kind of a bombshell right there that he just dropped. You know, a lot of people did not want Kristi Noem anywhere near this administration, especially with the whole dog thing. Remember when she was running the primaries and all that? Just she said that thing about like putting her puppy down, and it just went nuts. And she was kind of toxic, and so there's a lot of people surprised when Kristi Noem got chosen for Department of Homeland Security. And Trump just dropped a bombshell right now that it actually was the Tom Homan came to him and said, I want Kristi Noem. That's a big deal right there. And what's happened with Kristi Noem and Tom Homan in place? Border crossings down around 95%, people self-deporting. And it's actually making our deportation. We're not getting the numbers we thought we'd get, but they're all disappearing. Why? Because the enforcement's there. It's really fantastic. Kristi Noem is crushing it. So again, that's kind of a bombshell right there.
And she is. I see with the horses, she's riding the horse. Let's go. She's great. But the team we have is really unbelievable. But those executive orders, I sign them, and now they get passed on to him and his group and other people, and they're all getting done. We're getting them done.
Let me.
Excellent stuff. Excellent stuff. So a bombshell there. And just, again, I think it's kind of a bombshell how he expectant he is that they're actually going to pass a lot of his stuff into law. And so I'm really excited to see how that plays out. Because obviously we want all of his executive orders to turn to law, because if they turn into law, I mean, good luck ever getting that stuff undone. Everything he's passing through executive order is extremely popular. It's very effective. And once it's in the law, it's done. I mean, you can't mess with it. Somebody made a good point in the chat too, that JD Vance will not get rid of his executive orders. And I agree with that. And anybody who watches the channels knows that I called JD Vance as VP from the beginning. I called Trump winning this election. And I'm telling you guys right now, as I see it, JD Vance will be the next president. And the Democrats are in such bad shape that I believe JD is going to have 8 years. So I believe this election was such a big deal and Democrats lost so thoroughly that they are going to be this MAGA team is going to be in power for 12 years. I truly believe it. The Democrats have nothing right now. They're barely a party anymore. They don't know what to do with themselves. And the people, Trump's getting more and more popular by the day. I saw a Morning Consult poll today that has Trump up 3 points in popularity over 50%, which that's Morning Consult. That's one of the most left-leaning pollsters. So if they can't even get him under 50, you better believe he's extremely popular. It's very dangerous for them. All right. I think I saw one comment I wanted to address real quick. Alan says 2 Democrat senators are retiring in Michigan. Oh, I'm sorry. Two are retiring total. One in Michigan, other in Minnesota. Those could be pickup seats. They could be pickup seats. So very, very exciting stuff. All right, let's keep going because there's more. There's more.
Because the president will make these executive orders, which are very sensible and good for the country, but then they don't get implemented. So if you take for example, all the funding for the migrant hotels, the president issued an executive order where, hey, we need to stop taking taxpayer money and paying for luxury hotels for illegal immigrants, which makes no sense. Like, so obviously people do not want their tax dollars going to fund high-end hotels for illegals. And yet they were still doing that, even as late as last week. And so, we went in there and we're like, this is in violation of the presidential executive order. It needs to stop. So what we're doing here is one of the biggest functions of the DOGE team is just making sure that the presidential executive orders are actually carried out. And this is, I just want to point out, this is a very important thing because...
Real quick. So a lot of the criticism directed at DOGE right now is just trying to put all this scary stuff on DOGE. What Elon did is he just framed DOGE in a way that's very difficult to argue with. He basically just said, guys, we just need to, DOGE is here to implement executive orders. And then, but before that, he said, we've seen them flat out ignore executive orders. And he used the example of one of the most unpopular things that ever has happened in our country, which is them paying hotels millions of dollars to house illegal immigrants for free. And so Elon spits that out there. And again, a bunch of normie type people are watching this. They have no idea this is going on. They have no idea. Fox News watchers, Fox News is more right-leaning, don't get me wrong, but it is not MAGA-leaning, except for a couple of shows like Jesse Waters. But the regular daytime is not. And so these people getting this, finding out that executive orders are not being done, everything we heard about DOGE is scary. Oh, they're just actually trying to get Trump's stuff done against this stuff we absolutely hate. Again, this is changing minds and it's powerful stuff.
The president is the elected representative of the people. So he's representing the will of the people. And if the bureaucracy is fighting the will of the people and preventing the president from implementing what the people want, then what we live in is a bureaucracy and not a democracy.
Okay, so there's that line again. Now, it's important that some people will probably be disappointed he didn't say deep state, and I get that. I would love to hear that too. But bureaucracy is the normie way of saying it. And here's the deal. Everybody hates bureaucracy too. In fact, everybody hates bureaucracy without labeling it conspiracy. You hear deep state, it sounds kind of conspiratorial. It sounds kind of scary. It sounds kind of unhinged. You can look at somebody and be like, there's no deep state. But when you hear bureaucracy, you think paperwork, red tape, you hate it. Regular people hate bureaucracy. And so they're reframing that. You notice how they're reframing that? Because everything Elon just said was about the deep state, which is the bureaucracy and the intelligence agencies that fight our presidents and have run our country in many ways for so long. And he's letting us know, hey, this bureaucracy is taking over, and they're not letting us get anything done. Again, this is waking up normies. It's a powerful, powerful interview, the way they're framing everything.
And they send in legal fees. I can cut. I wish I had the time. I would save so, but I could cut these bills in half, much better
Yes.
than half. But you offer people a much lower number because you know.
So this is Trump right now. He's about to tell you how he does his I froze a really, really great picture of Trump's face right there. This is him explaining why he says crazy things. Okay. And he's going to frame it in a way that so makes so much sense that it's going to make a lot of people stop questioning it. But just listen to this.
No, they actually put fat. I'm not even saying it's like a way of business. They put more on because they expect to be negotiated. When you send in a bill to the government, there's nobody to negotiate.
Yes.
You send in a bill for $10,000 and they send you a check back for $10,000. If you would call them and said, we'll give you 5. No, I need more than 5. We'll give you 5. I'm not going to pay any more than 5. I will make it 6. No, I'm not going to make it 6. And you'll settle for $5,500. You've just cut the bill almost in half. And it took like 2 minutes. But none of that's
Someone
done.
call that the art of the
But that's
deal?
caring. No, it's not even the art of the deal. It's caring. He uses the word.
competence and caring.
It's caring.
Yeah.
It's a certain competence, but I think it's more caring.
I
than
know,
competence.
if you add either ingredient, either competence or caring, you'll get a better outcome.
When they send in legal fees, I can.
So right there, Trump explains just how he's a master negotiator. And everybody, I guarantee you, everybody watching that, except for the most unhinged liberals, thought, oh my God, that is common sense. That's genius. I love it. I love it. This makes so much sense to me. Okay, keep doing what you're doing. Negotiate for us. What other president has ever talked about negotiating for prices? They've never talked about that for the people. They have never, not one president in my lifetime. Okay. I can't even remember Reagan talking about this. Clinton certainly didn't. Bush didn't. Obama, Biden. No, only Trump. Trump's the only president in my lifetime that's ever said, hey guys, I'm not going to let you rip us off. Every other president, we need more money for this. We'll pass this. We have to pass this. We just have to get it done. I know it's not perfect, but we got to get this done. Trump's the first one ever to say this. So people watching this don't even know what to think except for that feels good. They might not even realize why it feels good, but it feels good to hear that your president is fighting for you. And that's massive. That's really massive. Now, the end of the interview gets a little fun. And I want to play this because it just shows the human side of this relationship. And Elon and Trump, I think, have a special relationship. I really do.
He's going to go into orbit soon.
Okay.
Yeah,
No, he's going to go to Mars. He's
Starlink.
gonna fly on his-
at some point. Yeah.
Is in
But they said they was asking like, do you want to die on Mars? And I say, well, yes, but not on impact.
Starlink is in 100 countries. This is going to be hard.
I love it. Just them sitting there laughing at each other, telling jokes is great.
I feel like I'm interviewing two brothers here.
You go ahead.
Star Shield, which could be used for national.
Look at Trump's face right here when they're joking. Look how happy he looks. It's just like, I think they legitimately really like each other. And that makes me feel even better too. And why not? They're both got a lot going for them. They're getting stuff done. This is a great exchange right here as well. I'm going to share with you guys, just show you just how well they feed off each other.
And that just then raises a question. You're the richest man in the world. You may not like that part.
Yeah.
You're pretty
I mean, it's
competitive.
neither here nor there.
I've
I
known
don't
you a
know if it
long time.
matters.
That's why.
But he's on your team.
President.
Well, that's true. He can't top that.
He's good. I wanted to find somebody smarter than him. I searched all over. I just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
You
couldn't.
really tried hard.
I couldn't find anyone smarter, right? So we had to.
You guys see Elon's face right here? I just, you just say you can't, couldn't find anybody smarter. They're just riffing off each other now. He says, "Hey, I'm, you're sitting with the richest man in the world. Why? Doesn't that intimidate you?" And he's like, "Well, that's why I became president." It's just like the ultimate boom. And you can just tell the fun they're having. He calls him the smartest man in the world, looks right at him, and Elon just can't believe it. I mean, this is fun. I hope you guys can enjoy this because, again, we've never had something like this before. The richest man in the world with the most powerful man in the world. They both love our country. They both enjoy each other, and they're getting stuff done together with vision. I just, that should excite every single person in this chat.
You really tried hard.
I couldn't find anyone smarter, right? So we had it for the country.
But this is the thing.
We settled on this
Well,
guy.
thanks for having me.
So
I'm just trying to be
but
useful
this is
here.
the interesting. This is where we are as a society, and I hate to do.
Elon was so humbled right there. He's, I'm just trying to be useful here. Okay, I got a couple more, and then I'm going to run through these and do it. So here's Trump real quick. They're asking about RFK.
You like Bobby, right?
I like Bobby, actually, yeah. I think I supported Bobby Kennedy.
You like Bobby. Again, they're talking about each other, even now Kennedy in it. Like, this is a team that loves each other. How many times in history of our presidents and their administrations secretly hated each other? They only got their roles for being handshake deals because you scratched my back, I'll scratch yours. And now we have a team that's actually united together. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't mean as much to you guys, but this, I'm telling you, this is massive.
I think he's unfairly maligned as someone who is anti-science, but I think he isn't. He just wants to question the science, which is the essence of the science. The scientific method fundamentally is about always questioning the science.
Oh, they didn't tell us the truth about COVID.
Correct.
That's for sure.
Yes.
And we learned a lot with the Twitter files.
Okay, I love Hannity for saying that. I love him for saying they didn't tell us the truth about COVID. That is not something Hannity would usually do. So well done, Hannity. You get props from me for that. I don't usually like you, but well done there. Speaking of Twitter, and this is the last clip I'm going to play, but here's an exchange about the Twitter. He brought up the Twitter files, which exposed how the Biden administration had been working with Twitter to ban President Trump and other conservative voices, censor them. And anyways, here's an exchange about how that went down.
He's working for free with DOGE. He's kind of put a lot of his life on hold. And you sued Twitter a number of years ago. You just made him pay you $10 million?
That's right. That's right.
That's right.
Well, I sued from long before he had it.
Yeah.
And I mean, they really did a number on me, and I sued, and they had to pay. They paid $10 million settlement.
You're okay with that?
I mean, I left it up to the lawyers and the team running Twitter. So I said, you guys do what you think is the right. It makes sense.
I think it's fun.
I think it's a very low. I was looking to get much more money than that.
So you gave him a discount when the lawsuit.
He got a big discount. I don't think he even knows about it.
He's become one of your, if you read and believe the media, he's become one of your best friends. He's working for free for you.
Well, I love the president. I just want to be clear about that.
Okay, you hear that? He's become one of your best friends. And as soon as Hannity drops that, he says, I love the president. That's big words coming from him.
I don't care about that.
I know. I love the president.
You love the president.
I think President Trump is a good man, and he's,
It's nice the way he said that. There's something nice about it.
Okay, that's a big deal. So, Trump is so attacked. All right, he's so attacked over being this bully, over being a jerk, over being crass and mean, all this stuff. And that's the Democratic narrative they've been pushing now for 9 years, even though everybody loved him before that. Okay, and now we have RFK Jr. 3 days ago gets confirmed and he gives one of the most touching speeches about Trump as a man of honor, about the hero on the hill that we need, how he's kept his word, even though it was a handshake, even though everybody told him he's a liar, warned him about Trump, said, get it in writing. He said, I took a handshake and Trump has gone beyond everything he promised him. So you have RFK, who just a year and a half ago was running as a Democrat for president, calling out President Trump, saying he's a danger to our democracy, all this stuff. RFK had really bought a lot of the Kool-Aid. He loves this man now. He thinks Trump is like the man. Elon Musk voted against Trump in 2020, lifelong Democrat, center left, tech guy. He now says, I love this president. I believe he's a good man. This is just people. There is no narrative against Trump anymore. I'm sorry. There is nothing that can stand up. We have so much evidence, and every single person who hangs out with Trump loves him. Joe Rogan out there saying when Trump came, he was so easy to talk to. He wanted to just sit there. He wanted to hang out. He didn't give me a time limit. He answered everything. He's a great guy. Shook my hand. I enjoyed it so much. He's so funny. Everybody glows about Trump. And the Democrats wonder why they're falling apart. They wonder why nobody believes their narrative anymore. Because we've had 9 years with him. We've had 9 years of him. Democracy hasn't fallen. We love this guy. We do. The more we hang out with Trump, the more we love him. It's just, and you know why that is? That has never happened to any other president, any of them. By the time they're gone, except maybe Reagan in recent history, every other president, by the time they're gone, it's like good riddance. Their approval's lower. We don't really care for them. They go off in the sunset and it's like, goodbye. Because the more we hang out with them, the more we dislike them. Why? Because they're not authentic people. They're not real people. They're fake. They're hiding stuff. They're using it for their own gain. They're doing terrible things. Trump is Trump. He's always Trump. He's himself. And you know what? Even when you're around a person who's kind of an adult, who's kind of a jerk, but if they're good-natured and they're authentic, you always kind of learn to love them. I have friends that were not friends when I first met them, but they were awesome people. And I got to know them and they were authentic and I learned to love them. That's Trump. And that's why nothing sticks his man. They call him Teflon Don and they can't understand it. They go running around. Why? What are we doing? What are we doing wrong? We've warned these people. He's a fascist. He's the new Hitler. He's a Nazi. What are they not seeing? He's so mean. We're going to play every clip. We're going to make the meanest pictures. We're going to do everything. We're going to hate on this man. We're going to bury him. And it doesn't stick. And they're like, what is happening? And it's so simple. You cannot defeat the character or the image of a man or a woman who's authentic and authentically likable. You just cannot. It's impossible. But the Democrats don't understand that. You know why they don't understand it? Because they're all fake. And they know all these liberals, all their leaders, everything, they all walk on eggshells all the time. I mean, think about it. Think about them. They're like, trans is fake. You're pretending to be man or woman and you're not, I mean, like their whole identity is fake. The funny man commercial we laughed at, it was so funny. And why was it so funny? Because it was so inauthentic. They don't know. They're the party of actors and politicians. They're the party of lawyers. The educated who learn to hide behind their words and their books. There's nothing real there. And they don't understand because they're like, well, we're all fake. You could tear all of us down if it came out. Why can't we tear you down? They just can't figure it out. And right there, Elon just proves it again. So guys, this interview was powerful. It was awesome. I hope, I tried to do my best breaking down what I thought were the best parts of it. So if you're still watching, I'm going to cover some more stuff. Okay, we're going to move on from the interview, but that was a powerful interview, and I really think it's going to be a very effective interview and keep a lot of people talking. So please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Hero, I saw your donation, the $10 donation. Thank you so much. That was amazing. Alan, I saw 5 more memberships you got in. Thank you, brother, for the donations and the support. You guys are amazing for supporting the channel. I greatly appreciate it. So yeah, hit that like and subscribe if you like what you're watching, guys. My channel is constantly shadow banned. You wonder why? Because I just say it like it is. So if you want to help the algorithm, help me bust out of that, like, subscribe, and share if you don't mind. So thank you so much. Brett, if you're wondering why you're blue, it's because I felt while people were talking that I feel like you were going to be my new moderator. So I added you to the moderator list. And so welcome to that. So you can moderate the chat a little bit if it gets out of hand. But all right, guys, you've been chatting, blowing it up. I really appreciate it. I've missed it because I had to go through that interview. So if you had just a killer comment, something or a question you want me to address, just go ahead and spam it back in there. And I'm going to cover the rest of today's news that I've been wanting to cover and go through that. And then I'll be interacting with the chat as I go, but there's some good stuff. So you don't want to leave yet, because I got some more good stuff coming, including this massive bombshell news. I keep saying bombshell, but there's a lot of bombshells tonight. This is a bombshell that dropped today. This is huge. Whistleblower from the Social Security Administration. They were incentivized to qualify illegals for long-term disability, to qualify them for Social Security for life. So they were set for life. You wonder why the Social Security numbers were higher than our population. Here it is right here, at least that and the dead people still on. Incentivized to qualify illegals for long-term disability. If that doesn't piss you off, I don't know what will. That is one of the most egregious, awful things our government could ever do to us using our money. The Biden administration was shuttling these people in by the millions, pushing them over to the Social Security Administration, saying, give them disability for life. So these people don't have to work. They're not even citizens, and we're going to hook them up with a check for life. That should enrage every single person you can imagine. Every single one. That is one of the grossest things I've ever seen. Real quick here, I need to check something. Sorry, guys. Did I just lose YouTube? I hope not. Okay. I don't think I did. Okay, I just saw YouTube crash, but it looks like it was just my browser. So if you guys are still on YouTube, please just send me a chat real quick so I know you're still there. All right. Otherwise, it's just Rumble. But I must have said something they didn't like. All right. Okay, you're still good? Okay, good. My browser crashed and it looked like I lost YouTube for a second there. All right. So it's quote, they wanted us to try to identify them in such a way they would qualify for long-term Social Security disability. Now, long-term Social Security disability is for life. You guys, we can't get a mortgage. We can't get full-time jobs. We struggle to go through college. We struggle to keep our vehicles up. We struggle to pay for this incredibly expensive food because Biden killed 100 million chickens. And yet they get it for life. Are you serious? If they get identified and qualify for long-term Social Security disability, they're as good as set up for life. That doesn't sound like a refugee to me. Just being honest, sounds like someone planning on staying here. So they instructed us to try to identify, to get the client, because once they arrive here, they're now called clients. Language is important. Language is very important. Once you change the language on something, you change how you approach it. You change how you view it. You change how you act toward it. They told us that we needed to talk to the client, ask them if they had any headaches, recurring headaches, or lower back problems. anything that would qualify them for Social Security long-term disability. It's insanity. In order to get Social Security disability benefits, don't you need a Social Security number? Well, we were instructed in the meeting that one of the first things we were supposed to do is sign them up for Social Security. This is supposed to be our retirement. You know, I used to have old people who I loved, older people who looked at Social Security and said, you know, that's my money. I'm entitled to it, which is fine. Or they wouldn't say I'm entitled to it. What did they say? They said, I paid into it or something like that, which is, I get what they're saying. But at the same time, it's an entitlement program. They didn't like when I called it that because they equated entitlement programs with welfare and food stamps and all that. And I'm like, I'm sorry, so is Social Security. You can call it whatever you want, but that's what it is. But it's still ours. It's for American people. Okay. It's for retirement. It's to help people who couldn't make it in retirement or couldn't save anything. So they at least have something to live off of. And yet we're just throwing it at people who aren't just not American. They came here illegally. They broke the law, and we're rewarding them with lifetime benefits. It's unbelievable. Come over here and get Social Security number, right? They become legal. Correct. They wanted, anyways. So this dropped today, and it is absolutely insane. I recommend looking into this more, but I have a feeling, and I talked about this on my show last night, we might find $500 billion in Social Security just this year based on all the news coming out. Speaking of Doge news, here's Stephen Miller, and I got a couple of good clips from Stephen Miller tonight. But here's a clip from Stephen Miller about this fraud.
If those records, what are the plans to do so if those records are obtained?
Well, as we know, there's a massive amount of fraud in this country. You have, for example, foreign fraud rings. These are foreign nationals who come into the United States. They use fake Social Security numbers. They use fake identities to steal billions in taxpayer benefits. There's no way to know until DOGE gains full access exactly how much money we're talking about. But over a 10-year normal budget window, you could be talking about saving over $1 trillion by clamping down on massive fraud in our tax and entitlement systems, including, again, those carried out by organized fraud and theft rings. A very important point in all this is to understand that.
So not only are there organized fraud and theft rings that he's talking about that stole millions, if not billions and trillions from our Social Security and tax programs, but our government, as we just saw, was also just handing it to them. It's I have a feeling we don't even have a deficit at this point.
DOGE are subordinate staffers of the federal government. They are political appointees, just like me, just like everyone else in the White House, that serve and answer to the president. So we're not talking about an outside private entity. We're talking about the existing federal staff of the federal government performing their statutory and constitutional duty.
So he's out there just killing it. And I got one more clip of Stephen Miller, because this Doge thing just keeps going on and on and on. And so he went over to CNN to talk about it. And you guys got to watch this clip. If you haven't seen this clip, don't miss it, because I think Stephen Miller just ended this woman's career.
Staff for policy. Stephen, thank you so much for taking time for us. So who is in charge of Doge?
The president of the United States.
He's the administrator of Doge?
No, the DOGE is what was formerly U.S. Digital Services. It's an agency of the federal government that reports into the office of the executive office of the president, which reports to the president of the United States.
Okay.
The way that Article 2 works is the president wins an election, and then he appoints staff, including myself, including Mike Waltz, including Susie Wiles,
Yes.
including Elon Musk, and those staff report to him.
Okay, well aware. So Elon Musk a week ago answered a question about transparency at Doge. This is how he spoke about Doge.
Well, we actually are trying to be as transparent as possible. In fact, we post our actions to the Doge handle on X and to the Doge website. So all of our actions are maximally transparent.
You hear him there. We post our actions. All of our actions are maximally transparent. Does Elon Musk know he's not in charge of Doge?
Again, the president runs the government, then the president appoints advisors, including Elon.
How annoying are these people, by the way? The gotcha questions are so insane and so stupid. Did you hear him say we? Does he know he's not part? I just, who's falling for this anymore? I'm waiting for the moment these people wake up, if ever. I kind of hope they don't, actually, because as long as this happens, we just defeated them so badly that if they don't learn their lesson, they're never coming back. And so let's just hope this continues.
For policy.
Sorry, guys, I get it back.
Appoints advisors, including Elon, including myself, including all the other staff here at the White House. And then those staff, in turn, execute the president's commands and directions to all the agencies of the federal government. This is how democracy works, something that we treasure in America. The whole American people go to the ballot box, they elect the president appoints staff, the staff then administer his orders and directives.
I love how he's just talking to her like she's a fourth grader. You can see the amusement on his face too.
Across the whole U.S. government.
Okay, Stephen, I get that, but this is important because we want to talk about who's making the decisions here. There were 300 employees, the National Nuclear Security Administration. You know about this. They were fired. The agency had to rescind those terminations because these were employees who were critical to maintaining the nation's nuclear stockpile. So then who is it making those decisions of which federal employees are terminated?
Well, in that case, the Secretary of Energy would be the one. So what you're describing with the cuts in the Department of Energy, those are directed by the Senate-confirmed Secretary of Energy.
Okay, so that was the Secretary of Energy's mistake.
Well, I wouldn't use the term mistake. I would say that it's pretty standard when you're downsizing government. You make cuts, you assess those cuts, you see.
Do you hear that? She just tried to slip that in there. Oh, so the Department of Energy made a mistake. I love it. I mean, it's just so, but Stephen Miller has been doing this since the first Trump administration. He's hardened and he loves this. If you watch Stephen Miller's stuff, he crushes it. And he's about to just drop kick her into the stratosphere to where she might never recover. But she's setting him up. You know, you got to say stupid stuff to get to the point where you get punted, and it's coming. It's coming. But that little dig there so is his mistake. I was like, but he didn't fall for it at all.
Who needs to be rehired, who needs to be kept, who needs to be
That's not what happened here, though, Stephen. You know that they were rescinded. These aren't normal things. These were terminations that were rescinded.
I understand that even a temporary interruption in federal employment is a great crisis and catastrophe for you and for CNN.
Boom. Right there. I love it. Now he's heating up. I understand that even a temporary pause in federal employment is a big deal for you and CNN. He's laughing. This is so ridiculous to him, but it's not rattled. And here comes the boom goes the dynamite.
What the American people see is a government that is finally delivering a promise of accountability under President Trump. You want to have a conversation about transparency? Let me ask you a question. Do you have any idea where the $22 billion that the Department of Health and Human Services provided to illegal aliens under Joe Biden is right now? $22 billion with a B. That's enough to provide a free house to every homeless veteran in America. Where's the $22 billion? I don't know. You don't know. Nobody knows. Joe Biden just spent it, and now it's gone. Transparency begins with having an accounting of where every federal dollar is spent. And God bless President Trump for leading this effort.
Stephen, it seems like...
Oh, snap. There's not a single person watching who could disagree with that. That one hurt. That one hurt. It hurt so much. Well, she's going to walk into a trap.
The crisis here had to do with the nation's nuclear stockpile. And for these particular federal workers, which I'm not, so this isn't my personal crisis, military members of the Guard and the Reserve. I don't think it's a crisis, and you don't think it's... Well, hold on. I don't think it's a crisis, and you don't think it's a crisis, then why are we talking about it? Military...
There it is. If he got her to be like so embarrassed by his answers were so good. She was so embarrassed that she walked it back and said, well, they're saying it's a crisis. I'm not. And it's just set them up to knock it out of the park. Well, if you don't think it's a crisis, I don't think it's a crisis, then why are we even talking about this? Don't mess with Stephen Miller, folks. That's the lesson for the media right now. Stephen Miller will eat you for lunch. That clip is so amazing. And I love it. I love watching these people get destroyed. By the way, a couple more things we're going to cover before we go here. But before we do that, please like and subscribe. I appreciate it. Alan with 5 more memberships. Oh my God. The support is awesome. So if you're in the membership now, guys, you get members lives, which tomorrow is the members live. So Wednesday night is the members only lives. And sometimes we get a couple more, but usually 4 a month extra lives. And on top of that, you get access to the Discord group. So go to the community tab, hit the link, jump in our Discord where it's 24/7. We're talking politics, stocks, and all kinds of stuff. We have a thriving, awesome community. It is the best, and I know you guys will love it. So make sure you take full advantage of the membership and jump in. And if you want to keep your membership after the free month you just got, be sure to sign up on your own. It's only $3 a month, and it supports this channel so I can do this as much as I do. So I work full time, but I make time to do this channel, and the support helps me make that time. So thank you guys for that. FICA says, dang, CNN might have lost both of their viewers after seeing that. Right? That's hilarious. I thought I saw another one here real quick. Hey, what's up, Johnny Strayhorn? Welcome in. Brad says, look how she looks at the desk. She's looking for an answer to his question. I'm sure she doesn't have a good one. No, they don't. They don't. They're not smart people. They just don't have it. All right, guys, here's more on Social Security. This is Trump talking about the crazy amount of old people who are suspiciously old and still getting checks.
9 years old. 879 people. From 210 years old, I haven't met any of them. And if I did, I would bless them. I
haven't met any of them 210 years old. I would, if I met him, Trump's too funny.
I would worship the ground they walk on. 210 to 219 years, 866. From 220 years old to 229 years old, 1,039. And then you have 2 people from 240 years old to 249 years old, 1 person. And there's 1 person that's 360 years old. That's just that. And then where's the money being spent, right? Let's go into that for just a second. 100 to 209 years old. 879
Play
people.
that one more time. The sigh is the best part.
That's just that.
Oh, man, if you guys don't love this man, I don't know. Something's wrong with you. Something's wrong with you. All right. They're already talking. I remember I said this yesterday because Fox News was talking about it, guys. And Fox News mentioned maybe the people get some tax money back. Okay. Today we get the news that Elon Musk has said he and the president will discuss a DOGE dividend, which will be a tax refund sent to every taxpayer. This would be funded exclusively with a portion of total savings. So it doesn't make sense for them to send all the savings back. Of course, we got to get out of debt, right? But I've heard that they're thinking about maybe up to 20% of everything they find could go back to the people, which if they find, say, $400 billion or so, I believe that comes out to like if they eliminate the whole deficit of 2 trillion, it would come out to 400 billion, which is 20%, which would be a $5,000 check for every tax-paying family, which is like 78 million households that pay taxes. So that would be pretty awesome. That would be pretty awesome. It would stimulate the economy. It would build faith in the government where we're at. Really, really cool stuff. So this is actually being talked about. I told you guys it would be because Fox News had dropped it, which meant they were hearing it from somewhere. And now here we are. We're actually hearing that they're really talking about it. So that would be Pretty awesome. Trump found the Highlanders. Right? That's hilarious. MRTKO says if it's 360-year-olds, you have to assume it was Biden. Brett says it had to be Dianne Feinstein. I think that makes a lot of sense. Oh yeah, that's a lot of money in circulation. I mean, think about it. If you save $2 trillion and $400 billion sent back to taxpayers, and $400 billion then gets put into the economy. Let's say people spend $330 billion of that, because there'll be some people who save. $330 billion going into our economy is nothing to sneeze at. That's a lot of money. Thomas Dubois says DOGE hasn't even FINRA or the SEC yet. Oh yeah, they're starting with the SEC very soon. Yeah. So very soon. It would jumpstart the economy, Brett. I completely agree with you. Today we got Grok 3 from X, from Elon. That is their AI. And folks, all the word is out that this is actually working better already than ChatGPT. So Elon's AI is taking a jump, and it's a place we can trust. So that's a big deal. The AI wars are just getting started, but as a tool, I just can't recommend it enough. If you guys want to do research or anything, Grok is amazing. And so this is going to really shake up things. All right, I got another clip I want to play for you guys just because it makes me laugh. Here's Tom Homan on his thoughts on AOC.
Well, first of all, I think she's, I won't go after her on
Tom,
national
please
TV
do. Please do. Say what's on your mind. It's a holiday.
Look, she's the dumbest congresswoman ever elected to Congress, and she proves that every day. And look, bottom line is, I can't believe any member of Congress, Republican, Democrat, Independent, would want to educate criminal illegal aliens who are in the country illegally, been convicted of a violent crime, and have been ordered removed by an immigration judge after due process at great taxpayer expense. You got a congressman or congresswoman that does not want ICE to do the job that Congress has mandated them to do and funds them to do.
I love this guy.
Well, first of all, I think
Tom Homan's awesome, man. He's just a bulldog, and he's not afraid. He's call her the dumbest Congress person ever served. Oh man, just too good. I really didn't have any other reason to share that clip except for it made me laugh, and I love Tom Homan. He's just awesome. Brett asked if they give us refund checks, does that mean the Dems get bills? Unfortunately, not the people, but I bet you a lot of the Dems will get politicians will get bills or put in jail. So there's a big win there. Congressional airbag. I like that, Johnny. So today they met Marco Rubio, who, listen, Marco was a neocon, but he has proven to be an awesome Secretary of State. He went full MAGA about 4 or 5 years ago, and he's all in, and he's been great. So Marco, Steve Witkoff, and others met today with some Russian officials, and they're really close to having a deal to end the Ukraine war. So that's amazing. And then just the final thing I wanted to share tonight that just caught my eye was Elon is proposing doing a live video tour of Fort Knox to show us if we got our gold. That's pretty crazy. So I don't know if you guys knew this, but there's a lot of people wondering if we even have our gold in Fort Knox. And I'm kind of skeptical myself, I'll be honest. But whether we do or not, I'm sure we have some gold. And we've been importing a lot from the EU and the UK lately, which is very interesting, I got to say. Why? Because maybe someone's coming in the economy? I think maybe. But check this out. I just read the other day that our gold that America has, the government holds, is still valuated from 1973 at $42 an ounce. So if we have the gold, and it's a big if, but if we have the gold and it's reevaluated at today's price, which is right around $3,000 an ounce, that's a lot of money, folks. That is a crap ton of money. I mean, there is supposed to be 4,580 tons of gold in Fort Knox. If we're anywhere close to that, and they find it and they reevaluate it, things are going to get really interesting here. Is my point. Really interesting in the next few months. So if the first 4 weeks weren't fun enough for you guys, we're just getting started. On that note, guys, we're gonna phase out the show. So it's late, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Everybody who supported me, thank you so much. Please like and subscribe before you leave. I greatly appreciate it. Let's get that algorithm back on it. 230 people watching. That's 140 likes. We can bump that up. So please do not leave until you like. Appreciate that. And guys, I'll be on tomorrow with a members live. All right. And Alan says Trump said he might see Putin meeting by end of year. I think it'll be a lot faster than that. That's interesting that he said year though, huh? Ficus says there must be a reason they haven't audited Fort Knox in 50 years. I agree. There must be a reason, right? Thomas Dubois says, why does YouTube keep posting single Ukraine women chatting on your feed? They're all looking to that green card, man. They want to get out of Ukraine. Oh, quick comment on G-Bucks. Thank you, Jordan, for reminding me. Yeah, let me do G-Bucks real quick, okay? This is important. So before we leave, guys, we legitimately are catching a short squeeze right now. I mean, there's no other way to frame it. This stock has gone nuts. It is up, $6 in the last week? Never was a big stock. Let's go back a month. Yeah, trading down the ones, and it is climbing fast. Hit 930 today, up 26%. And guys, it looks like it's barely getting started. According to Ham, who we all love, it is he's saying that he's very excited, says it looks like it's just starting. Bar chart has it still at 100% buy. That attack on Friday just looked like it blew up in their face. So I'm in. I can't buy any more. I'm as in as I can be right now. Very happy with where I'm at. I hope all you guys are green. If you haven't gotten in yet, or you're thinking about it, there might be a little bit of a pullback soon, but it could rocket if it really does turn into a massive short squeeze if these guys have to buy in. Anyways, I'm not giving you guys financial advice. I'm just talking about, I personally, based on what we've been seeing, I think Ham's right. It does not look like this trading right here. How balanced it's been and how slow, it does not look like this has broken shorts yet. So if buy-ins are starting, and Ham thinks this could be any day now, this really could take off. I have no idea what to expect. No idea where it could go. Maybe it goes to 1050, maybe it goes to 15, maybe it goes to 150. I don't know. I have no clue. I'm playing this one by ear because I have no feel for that. But I can tell you that this came out of nowhere, and it's just going crazy. So, but I don't think it's over by any means. I really don't. So that's my thoughts on G-Bucks before the end there. All right. Brett says G-Bucks all day. I kept looking at the bar desk. There's nothing out there. A couple hundred, they're gone within 10 seconds. Shorts are completely trapped. Exactly. And that's why I think it's nowhere close to being done. I really do. Linda Telly says, oh yeah, Kash Patel was, he's not confirmed yet, but he was pushed through the cloture vote. So he should be confirmed on Thursday, which is very exciting. And another big one, Howard Lutnick, the Commerce Secretary, was confirmed today. So Trump so far is batting 100% with his 100% with his cabinet picks, which is huge, which is absolutely huge. Yeah, it's surprisingly low volume. I agree with you, Ficus. Oh, Fro Girl, it's good to see you. Yeah, go watch, but we missed you tonight. Automag says Lux Algo is bona fide trade station. Don't pay extra for. I don't pay extra for any of it, so don't worry about me. But anyways, guys, good things are coming. Obviously, we're winning so much right now. It's amazing. And listen, it's really hard to stay excited. I know, because we've all gone through a hard time. Okay. We've all gone through years of just making it, a couple wins here and there just to keep us going, but most losses, a lot of struggle. I really think we're entering it. This is a new season, 2025. It doesn't mean there won't be hard stuff. It doesn't mean hard times won't happen. But as far as like a general emphasis on our lives and in our country and all that, we're just heading in the right direction. Justice is coming. The stock market's even going to get fixed, I believe. All this and guys, I mean, just the beginning of the year, we're already probably catching a short squeeze we just kind of fell into. I mean, it's just happening everywhere. It's amazing. So love you guys. So appreciate this community. Thank you, Twilight. I love to read the comments. The community is a big part of my show. It is what makes our show different. And just greatly appreciate you guys so much. Thanks for watching tonight. Please, again, like before you leave. Subscribe if you haven't already. Share with a friend if you think they'd like it. And let's end in a prayer as usual. So, Heavenly Father, thank you for today and tonight. God bless everybody here. Thank you for this amazing community, all the people who support me either by just subscribing and showing up or financially and all this stuff they give. The people who give memberships, people who super chat, all that. I just so appreciate them. And God, I thank you so much for what you're doing in our country and all the winning. And I just pray it does not stop. I pray that everything we've fought for and all the things we lost over the years, it's all brought back, that you restore all that the locusts have eaten, as it says in the book of, of Joel. And we just, we thank you because you're good. And we're just watching miracle after miracle happen right now. And it's an amazing time to be alive. So we thank you for that. Bless everybody here in Jesus' name. Amen. All right. God bless you guys. Have a nice night. And Brett, you're welcome for the wrench. Thank you, Brett, for being such an awesome part of the community. That's why I could trust you. So welcome to the moderators chat. So, all right, guys, God bless y'all. Have a great night. And I'll see you tomorrow night, members. Lots of new members. So should be a good live tomorrow. Take care.